So, I have so many thoughts about having a teenage daughter that is dating. She's about to be 15. Culturally, she is half Mexican, half black. Her boyfriend at the current time is Mexican. And so this is considered like, a normal stage, a normal age for relationships to spawn. The whole quinceañera thing is about being 15 and, being presented to the world. Oh, good Lord. And my goal for my children is that they become healthy and whole adults by the time they're 18, meaning that they have life skills, they have emotional skills, spiritual skills, so that they can actually function and navigate well. Not just be dumped out into the world to survive. But I want my kids to be prepared to thrive in all ways. And we know that relationships are a huge part of that. So I choose not to shy away from it. I'm not the mom that says you can't date until you're 18. I'm not the mom that creates such strict environments that children are motivated to hide and keep secrets. I have made a commitment to myself that I would be an open and safe space for my children when they are going through these stages, that they can come and they can talk to me, that we can work through challenges together, that I can help guide them. And so in order to be able to do that, they have to trust me, right? So I have been preparing for this phase for many years because I had to learn how to keep my face straight. Because when they get you cornered in the car and you can't run away, that's when they decide to pull out so Mom, when I was at my friend's house and we were sleeping, and we had a sleepover at my friend's house. Yeah, we walked a mile away to Quick Trip. How was that walk? Did you plan for your safety on that walk? On the one hand, I'm like terrified. And on the other hand, I'm like, thank you for telling me. How can we make that a safer experience? Were you aware of this circumstance? Did you plan for it? Things like that. So, right, I keep a straight face so that they are not triggered into their suppression mode, their lying mode, their secret keeping mode. Because in that mode, I can't be of any help. They're out there in the world doing whatever the hell they want to do because that's what teenagers do, And I know people are going to disagree with me on that. There's lots of people who disagree with me for a lot of things, but this is how I parent, and it's working so far. Now, back on the dating thing. So she has this boyfriend. They've been together for a while now. And I have to think about, how do I interact? Because when I was that age, I wasn't allowed to have boyfriends, and boyfriends weren't welcome. My mom was not welcoming to boys who were interested in me. And again, that turned into lying and secret keeping and having a whole second life she knew nothing about. Still to this day, she knows nothing about. I don't want that. So how do I move differently? And one thing is, welcoming him in because he is kind. He is responsible. He has a job. And he caters to her. He's respectful to her and to me. And this isn't her first boyfriend. And so, we've had conversations about good qualities that you're looking for. What do these confusing behaviors and patterns mean? What could they mean? How to prioritize your own desires, how to set boundaries. She's had breakups. We've done the burning of the clothes, the gifts, you set them on fire and let that energy flow away from you. So, we've done all of those things. So here she is with this person, and he's, meeting the expectations, and she will say things like, can he come over to the house to hang out? And I have to think about that. And I'm like, public places. She's like, why? Why can't he just come over? And my response was, one thing I've learned about people, but in particular men, is they tend to work really hard to achieve a goal. Once they've achieved the goal, their efforts tend to wane. So with that in mind, I would like for him to understand that he needs to work. Demonstrate that he can maintain his social decorum for a while, and homes are a sign of comfort, Not that I don't want him to be comfortable, but I don't want him to get too comfortable, if you know what I mean, with me or with her. Because, that longevity and consistency over time is one of those things that I hope that she learned, because if someone is genuinely interested in you, they will maintain their efforts. So they schedule dates, I chaperone, so they have their time together in public places. And he's very kind and he's very respectful. And so, it's overwhelming. I will say, it is overwhelming to think about. Oh, trust me and my daughter have had all the conversations about sex and babies, and when you want to have babies and you don't want to have babies, and what are your goals with becoming a mother, or do you ever want to become a mother? At what point would you like to become a mother? Well, how do I help you reach those goals? We've had all those conversations. Yeah. But I promise you, it's overwhelming. But I'm up for the challenge because I want her to be able to navigate relationships, And the other point is, people like to think that teen relationships are not valid, or puppy love, not real love, or whatever. I know people who married their high school sweethearts and are together 30 years later. Not that they were easy or there's no struggle or anything in it at all, but sometimes those relationships are the predominant relationship. So I don't want to be a part of discouraging that, if that's what this is. My daughter is a whole human with her own complete set of human experiences. And I honor that. It just takes a lot of reframing my expectations and my goals as a mother compared to what the framework I was operating in as a 14-year-old. That's what fixing the face is usually. It's we're not operating on knee-jerk reactions, because the knee-jerk reactions come from the way I was parented. And that didn't work. So, fix the face. Listen. Honor. Support with boundaries. It's about learning. This is a fruitful space for her to learn a lot of life lessons while she's still at home, and the risks are not as high, and it's you can get do-overs if you need to when you're a teenager. When you screw up, you can have some do-overs usually, unless you're taking fentanyl. Don't do that. I would rather her, process some of these experiences and learn some things and integrate some of this wisdom before she's out there in the world and she doesn't have the safety of home, So, yeah, it's overwhelming. And then I have 3 boys coming up after this. I don't even know what that's going to look like. Oh my God. That's a whole nother thing.